Arizona, they're trying to make it illegal to record police within 8 feet.
So they did the same thing in North Carolina.
Okay.
And the idea behind this is in our state, in Florida, we have a particular charge that's called resisting without violence. Okay. And if you actually read what the illegal conduct is, it's not what you think it is. I mean, if you think resisting, you think a guy like pulling away from a cop, literally resisting being arrested. That's not what this is. This is more, it can be that, but it's also if you're interfering in a cop's investigation. You can't do that, okay? That is what they're trying to do in all these other states. They're trying to say, well, if you're videotaping it, you're interfering with the investigation. Well, man, if I'm just a normal person and I'm 8 feet away, I'm not walking towards them or I'm just holding my camera up like this, what's the point? I'm not interfering with what you're doing. There's no different than an actual surveillance camera hanging off a building.
Yeah.
But they don't like that. Any law enforcement agency in our state in this day and age that says we don't want body cameras or we don't want people filming you should immediately give you pause. That should immediately tell you there's some corruption going on. That's the only thing you can say.
What is that body cam thing that's going on right now? They're trying. Some states or cities are trying to abolish the body camera.
Some people are trying to mandate it. Some people are trying to abolish it. So the original argument about the body cam, and this is true. So I will give absolute honesty on this. Is if you have, let's just say you have 500 officers. Okay, that means you're going to need at least 500 body cams. You're probably going to need 700, 800, because these things are going to break, right? They're using them every day, running after people, yada, yada. They're going to break. So you really need 800 of them, okay? So then here's the question. You got the cop wearing it when he's out there on the beat. How do they save the video? Let's say their shift is 8 hours, and they run 4 hours of tape. Do they save all 4 hours? Do they save only the 2 hours that they were actually doing active stuff? That is the biggest problem is once they go body cameras, there's so much more infrastructure that they need. They need people to download the cameras. They need people to maintain the cameras, keep them charged, all this kind of stuff. So I agree that just by the nature of having this thing that you got to charge, you got to save, you got to parse through, creates a whole lot more work. However, if your officers are good cops, that body camera 100% helps them more than it helps me. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of cases where once I get the body camera, I'm saying to myself, we're done.
Oh.
We're smoked.
No. What's the premise behind that? Is that the shut up premise?
That is the shut up premise. That is the 90% it's the shut up premise. 90% is the shut up premise. Like we talked about this. It's better to be the OG than to be the person who's helping the cops prosecute yourself. Those are the two people you can be. You can be the OG who says, what are you talking about? Why are you here? And tries to head off the stuff. I'm not talking about fighting the cops. I'm just talking about being active and defending yourself. Or you can be the person who's, self-snitching, telling on themselves. Right? Those are your two choices. I know which one I'd rather be. So yeah, it's self-snitching. And the other one is if they're a good cop, they're documenting everything that's happening. So let's say it's a case involving a stop of an automobile where they think there's some drugs inside, right? If they're a good cop and they know that what they're doing, they can position that camera so it follows them as they're doing the search. And when they find the cocaine or the meth or the whatever, boom, they got it right there on picture, on video. Clear as day. Think about me going to trial on a case like that and the dude saying, I didn't know there was drugs in my car. Instead of just having the cop say, yeah, so-and-so, we stopped them and we thought there was some drugs and dog alerted and we searched the car and we found this. They can play 10 minutes of the cop going through the car. You could see the personal items. You know what I'm saying? The school book, the clothes, the whatever. So the jurors get this feel like, oh, this is most certainly this guy's car. And those drugs were most certainly his drugs. So on valid cases, that body cam, what is the number one thing everybody wants to see nowadays? Show me the video.
Yep.
Show me the video. Those body cams can be major. They just have to be, to me, it's something that they need to train on too, right? It's not just, here's your body cam, go figure it out. It's hey, when you're doing this, position it this way. You know, they can work it into what they do. They can be professional about it. Any agency that says it costs too much money or we need to have so many more people hired, the logistic problems, in this day and age, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
That's an excuse, and that tells me that y'all got something going on. You know, they all should have it. So back in the day, the high up narcotics cops, like I'm talking like the vice squad is what you would consider it, the dudes who are just doing nothing but big time drugs, they would never wear body cams because they would say, well, if someone cooperates, we don't want that to be recorded. Okay, that would be their explanation.
So it's almost giving them an out for
Yeah.
what it's worth.
Yeah.
Because there's a chance that they can benefit twice over.
Correct. It's almost like this logical reason, like, yeah, you know, we got them, but we don't wear them because we don't know if the person's going to cooperate and we don't want that to be recorded. Okay. Do you know how many cases I won because they didn't have body cams?
Really?
Smoked them.
Really?
Smoked them. I mean, I had one big drug case where the lead investigator, who was like, I'm talking a 15-year vet. I mean, this guy knew his stuff, right? Smoked them because they didn't have a camera, or I was like, even your cell phone, pull out your damn cell phone. As we're doing the closing argument, he comes back into the courthouse. Now, he doesn't need to be there anymore. His time testifying is gone. He could go to the office, go home, doesn't need to be there. He hears me give the closing, and as we're walking out, as the jury's going back, he's like, yeah, man, we just lost that case. I just literally saw it happen as you're there doing it. And that's what I tell him. I mean, I'm not trying to be sneaky, but I was like, hey, I understand the point about you guys not wanting to have video of people cooperating. But you know what? You don't have to turn that video over. There's literally an exception in the law that says you don't have to do that. And if you actually had a video of my client admitting to 400 grams of cocaine, that would have been pretty nice for the jury to see. Because that's what you told the jury. You told the jury that you pulled them into the bathroom where you pull everybody for whatever reason. They love interviewing people in the bathroom. And my guy admitted to all the 400 grams of cocaine. Man, wouldn't that be nice if there was a video saying, yes, sir, the 400 grams you found, those are all mine.
Yeah. No, and they have the right to hold that. So he basically was lack of knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, it's on their side, and this is like across the board government, man. They do what they're told to do because that's the way that they did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like no one, you don't, on the cop side, you don't have the new creative hipster guy saying, what if we do this? No, you do it that way because that's the way we've done it for so many years. Well, why do we have Starbucks? Because we decided to do things differently. Starbucks is what's created the hipster movement, man. How many of these hipsters would have jobs if it wasn't for baristas?
Yeah, and understanding that an XL is a small, and a small is an XL, and it's in a different language.
Yeah. I mean, we're not talking about the diner days where Lucy fills up the same nasty pot of coffee over and over again. That mentality of the diner, the old pot of coffee, that's law enforcement. We do it that way because that's the way we've always done it.